All right, good morning, afternoon, evening, night, depending on where you find yourself in the globe. This is Kingdom Economic Forum. This is a forum that has been set up to look at issues that affect humanity. We don't complain on this forum, but we go to the root cause of the problems and then come up with solutions that will solve the problem. So over the period, we trying to set up the foundation for us to have the real kingdom economics. We've done the diagnosis, and one of them that we've been looking at has to do with the measuring rod, the economic measuring rod that we've been using over the years. That's the GDP, gross domestic product. We've given you the history of it. And last week, we took time to look at the pitfalls of GDP. We have said, and if you are listening to us, we are not saying we are throwing GDP away. We are not attacking GDP. No. But we are saying that what gets measured gets managed. But if the measuring rod is wrong, if you are using wrong measuring rod, irrespective of the good thing you do, they will mark you wrong. I like what Apostle Professor Kodia says, that when the marking scheme is wrong, it doesn't matter how brilliant you are, you'll be marked wrong. And that is what has happened. The marking scheme you are using inherently is not measuring other good stuff. In fact, the marking scheme is measuring what you are not good at. The IMF will be chasing you. The World Bank will be chasing you. Not that we are not doing well. No. It's because we are using wrong marking scheme on us. And we told you 5 of them, that the GDP as it is now is not measuring, it's creating inequalities. It is not measuring unpaid work. And we took time to talk about our mothers who have dedicated their time to take care of their children, which is one of the most important assignments God has given to us. The Bible says, train up the child the way he should go, so that when they grow up, they will not depart. Unfortunately, we have outsourced parenting. GDP is forcing us to outsource parenting. That is why those who have gotten money don't have their children with them, because we decided to work at the expense of the weightier matter, taking care of our children. Some of you are paying nannies and they are abusing your children. Some of you have taken your children to early crèche, whatever. And the children don't have immune system. Every month be at the hospital. You know about that. But we don't sit back to do the analysis. And we are saying that we are telling the politicians and policy makers, we have a ministry for the gender and whatever.
Yes,
no, this is what you are supposed to do. Women, it's not that we are forcing women to go and work against their strength. Women have been designed by the design that God Almighty, they are able to take care of children. They have that grace. We need to reward them. Not that we create competition for them, that they are not professional, whatever. Who told you? And go and find out those professional women, they are struggling. I'm not discounting that, but the point is that we are measuring on things that are not, that has no eternal value, has no next generation. The Bible says a good man leave inheritance for his children. This is one of them, training them values. We have outsourced them and all kinds of behavior, antisocial behavior, and the community is suffering. We think that GDP has to have a way of measuring. I think another 2 points that we mentioned, maybe Doug, you can add that.
Yes, I think we tagged on the quality.
The quality spending.
Yes,
it
does not isolate or specify good spending from bad spending.
Yeah.
Every spending is spending. As long as
it is spending. It's adding to GDP.
Yes, as long as it's adding to GDP. And this is very crucial, extremely crucial.
I think that's why we brought in the galamsey.
Yes.
We are destroying our land to increase our GDP.
Destroying the land to increase the GDP. So
Huh.
after a while, the land gets destroyed and it is depleted. And then now the GDP ultimately also will show,
come down.
will meet crisis.
Will meet
and
crisis.
Now we will have to go back to IMF and then those Bretton Woods institutions. Then it becomes a cycle.
A cycle. They know. In fact, those people, they know. They have worked these things for the next 50 years. They know.
They know.
They know.
They know.
They have people who are thinking and telling them, if you go to the negotiation table, tell them that they should. Now they told the current leadership that their growth is very well. What is the engine of the growth? Is it Galamsey?
Yes.
Increase in Galamsey activities and things that are not right. I think we should also take a backstage stage and think.
And moreover, one important thing is, you see, mostly there is you see, crisis is the engine for creativity and innovation.
But not here.
Like this Galamsey things that we are talking about, we should agree that by solving it or our will to solve it, it will have an implication
on the GDP,
because
sure.
as it stands now, it is one of the strong pillars. By so doing, so now we want to protect our environment. So we understand that by taking it off the list,
the growth will come down.
The GDP will come down.
Yeah.
Now, by coming down, it also has its own pressure that it brings on us. But that is an opportunity to now explore
other avenues
that will shoot it up. So for instance, that is when creativity. So for instance, when you look at US, elements like Facebook, elements like WhatsApp, and many other things that people have done. Check the amount Mark Zuckerberg is paying to US as revenue as a result of this.
Thinking.
So imagine that we decide that, okay, by doing this, it is going to reduce the GDP. Now we need to shoot it up.
What should we do?
Let us create an environment that will increase creativity, innovation. So look at the revenues that America will be getting through Facebook, through WhatsApp, or through these apps, through Microsoft. And these things are not degrading the environment. Imagine from a new generation of thinkers. Now we begin to bring on board certain services or products and systems that are able to, serve a huge population.
Yeah.
Now it will come to a point that we will forget that we have gold to even extract.
That's the point.
So the crisis of a huge reduction in GDP as a result of our corporate decision to solve Galamsey will now drive us to look for other alternatives. Because now we know that Galamsey GDP, okay, so we are relaxed.
Because we don't want to think.
We
want the easy way out. But this very dangerous, the very youth are being destroyed. The very community are being destroyed. I think it's Mr. President, I think, and then the opposition party, this is not a political stuff.
No.
The church, the traditional authority, this is not, we are sitting on a ticking time bomb. In fact, maybe we are digressing small, but it's important. You know, the engine of the Galamsey is drug, illicit drugs. Because the youth use the drugs so that they can't think again.
Yes.
They get the strength, they work, and then any amount of money they get, they go and use it to buy more drugs. So the drug dealers have taken, that's the engine of the Galamsey stuff we are talking about. Not that it's enhancing the youth. They are using the drug to go and do the Galamsey. When they get the money, they use the money to go and buy the drugs. And so the drug campaigns have taken the place. We are sitting on a very ticking time bomb.
When you visit those areas, you know the use of drugs and then also prostitution, teenage pregnancy is a normal thing there.
And these are contributing to the growth. This is
just
negative.
Like I may be saying we are doing well, for which definitely
we know we are not working, we are not doing anything special, but we are doing well. Then it means that we need to sit back. Hey. Anyway, maybe today, today when we want to look at why there's a need for us to have a different measuring tool. Why we need to have a different measuring tool. We have said it in passing, but we need to hammer it. And then we also look at what has been done in other countries. All that we are talking about, some people have started, even including US and Canada and then other countries. They've started. So it's not something new that we are introducing.
Yeah.
We have told you what gets measured gets managed. But if what you are measuring is wrong, then you're going to manage wrong stuff.
Yes.
That is the underlying principle. So, why the need for us to, let's say, get new metrics? Why? So maybe over to you.
Yeah. So some of the reasons, I think, literally our previous discussions
Settle those.
literally has given. Yeah, but I want to just put it together.
Yeah.
That so number one, that the current metrics are misleading.
Very.
And we've given several examples to that. Just take even the current one we are talking about.
The Galamsey.
The Galamsey. So currently, we said that our GDP is faring well. And definitely we know that as part of the components, Galamsey and its gold retinue has contributed. But the misleading aspect is that we are thinking we are doing well, but the environment is being destroyed.
Yeah.
Water bodies are being destroyed.
Yeah.
People's lives are being destroyed. Death rates there, immorality, all kind drugs. So these things have not been captured comprehensively. So a kind of GDP increase or a kind of economic welfare which does not make room to accommodate the place of environmental degradation is an incomplete metric.
Yeah.
So that is a summary.
That's a summary.
So it is misleading because it measures the monetary or the transactions at the expense of
future generation.
The future generation.
Yeah, at the expense of
and
the future.
The degradation of the environment and even the lives of the people.
The very lives of the people. The youth, their very lives are being destroyed.
So we tagged on inequality. So it hides inequality. It is blind to inequality. So GDP does not make, it is not a projected voice against inequality.
Sure.
So at the end of the day, the money has come.
Yeah.
So we are faring well.
And in fact, the source of the money even is coming from just few people.
From few people.
Who are contributing to the GDP. But the country is doing well.
It's doing well.
But few people are benefiting from the GDP that we're talking about.
Yes, and then as we said, even the emoluments and then things like
the distribution.
The distribution. We have engineered a system where it has become elitist. So the elite are enjoying at the expense of the masses. So GDP does not open up to include discussions around inequality, discussions around the degradation of the environment, discussions around the impact on future generations. It is all about how much we are, or the monetary transaction. So this is one of the reasons why a need for a relatively better or new metrics of making it more comprehensive, including the increase in the economic transactions as well. But something that we say that we want an economic growth that is
sustainable.
And that is running on the wheels of policies that will protect the environment,
the well-being of the people,
protect the well-being of the people, value human life, etc., etc. So we want more or less like a value-driven economic metric.
Wow.
Yes.
Listen, I think that, Doug, another reason why we need new metrics is that current metrics create perverse incentives. Perverse incentives. And maybe you can throw light on that one.
Yeah, so generally when we say an incentive is more or less like a reward system. For which it encourages you to do more. So basically that's an incentive. So, and we know that perverse then becomes that
negative aspect.
Negative aspects. So perverse incentive is the use of negative elements to also entice the government or a particular country to do more, which ultimately will increase the GDP.
That's a point.
So we made mention of, a number of examples in our previous session. So sickness, like the hospital one. So when there is healthy population,
they will not go to the hospital.
They will not go there.
Yeah.
And there's going to be a reduction in patronage, the economic patronage of the hospitals. So the more we have sicknesses or diseases and infections, and the more people are trooping to these places, these economic transactions will spike it up.
That's a point.
But by spiking it up, where is it coming from? On what grounds are we having these things? We made mention of disasters.
Disasters.
So, for instance, instead of solving Accra flooding,
this year, celebration of
we have to celebrate. We have added it to our festival.
Festivals, yeah, sure. The flooding festival.
Perennial flooding. So it is part of our annual festival. So unfortunately. So instead of solving it now, we have NADMO. And then we'll
displace people.
We'll displace people.
Things for them.
Buying things for
procurement
them.
Here and there.
So these spending will also increase the GDP.
Wow.
So it becomes an incentive. But this is a perverse, even the Galamsey IMF thing, it is still part of the perverse incentive.
Yeah, perverse incentive.
So it is destroying our land, but it is giving us an incentive. Said now we are being clapped for.
Sure.
So once we are being clapped for, it is an incentive to do more.
That's a point.
Then let us buy more gold. Let us do more Galamsey. Let us do more of these. So if the economic transactions, the products and services, the consumption and production now is attached to certain added metrics, which does not just assess the coming of the money, but rather assesses the quality, what is its impact on the society, the people. You see that the perverse incentive will be off.
In fact, another example is even divorce. For example, the family breakdown generates more GDP than family
stability of the
Yeah, because we pay the divorce lawyers, and then so many things will add to the GDP. But when the family solve their problems within, and they manage their conflict internally,
yes,
it doesn't add to the GDP.
It doesn't add to the GDP.
So this is something very interesting. Yeah. Even crime generates more GDP than safety. Because the police, prisons, security systems, insurance, legal fees all add to the GDP.
Yeah, well, add up to it.
But safe communities with low crime rates look worse because they don't need, you will not even need police. If the community is safe, they don't need prison. They don't need security system. So we are adding to.
So now what happens is that the positive elements contribute to GDP in an indirect
way. Sure.
And then this was so for a country that is not willing to sacrifice will go for perverse incentive.
That's a point. Yeah.
So these ones, because when you have a stable family, when you have a safe
community,
a safe country or community, but the safety also are factors to consider when people want to invest.
That's a point.
So these ones, the positive incentives, they come in as a result of consequence.
That's it.
So for instance, if we have a safety country, then it opens it up for investment. And investment can also help with unemployment.
That's
and this and this and that.
Leads to this.
Stable family will also have a role to play. So the positive elements, they also play vital role in increasing the GDP. Just that those ones are consequential. If this happens, then this will happen, then this will happen. And most of them are also products of long term.
They're all products of
So we are not, when you have a people who are
lovers
of short term. Yes, so short termism.
We discussed about that.
Yes, so lovers of short termism will prefer this approach.
Incentive.
The perverse incentive. Crime, divorce, environmental degradation. So then we respond to it, then we get it increases our GDP. But just like I said, if we want to terminate Galamsey, which is a perverse incentive, to GDP growth, then it means there's going to be a sharp decline in our GDP. And it means that opening room for creativity, that one is not overnight. That one is, do we have the temerity to accommodate a reduction for, let's say, a number of years, and then now spike it up through positive incentive? We are not ready for that. So we then go for the perverse incentive.
Wow. Another point is new metrics will change behavior. If you measure what matters, we will manage for what matters. Leaders will pursue different policies.
Excellent.
Citizens will demand different outcomes.
Excellent.
The entire direction of society could shift.
Very, very, very true. The reason why the whole entire system has become materialistic is because, as we said, the gold standard is GDP, which is predominantly an economic base or monetary base metric or assessment. So the government of most countries build their obsession when it comes to policies are things that will
add to
GDP.
Our budget is around GDP.
Everything is around it.
GDP.
And by so doing, now the entire nation is engineered to run
through GDP,
which is based on monetary elements. And then it builds a value or a culture which is materialistic.
That's the point.
Because everything is get the money. Because when you get the money, that is when the incentives are built around monetary acquisition or monetary transaction. So it is a cascade. So at a global level, they are looking out for the GDP. The government is then looking out for how it can fare well with it. Then the policies are engineered to push GDP at the expense of everything. And then culture and value of the people then become materialistic.
That's the point.
So it means that when there is a shift,
so
now,
behavior.
because we have shifted to GDP obsession, the end result in the behavior of the citizens is that materialism.
So the church, if you are listening to me, the materialism, the father of the materialism is the GDP. Unknowingly.
Yes.
We don't know, but so people have set up a system. This is a system. A system that is controlling all that we do without questioning it. So if we introduce new metrics, we are going to introduce new behavior, change of behavior.
So now it is not how much or how did you get your money. It is get it anyway.
And now the GDP is get it anyway.
Get it anyway. So if there, and that's why we are calling for these shifts.
That's the point.
If there is a shift, now it will not, the conversation will not be about just about the money. But we are interested in the means of the acquisition. Did you factor in the value for human life?
The means of acquisition and its impact.
So the means and the impact.
But here we are just looking at the means. The means. We are not looking at the impact. I think this is becoming deeper and deeper. And maybe because of time, maybe another metrics, new metrics are possible. Sometimes we think that it's not possible.
Yes.
But in our next discussion, we are going to let you know that it's going to be.
Some people have done doing.
They've done it.
Yeah.
So the new metrics is possible. And then the last point is that the stakes could not be higher. Listen to me. You listening to me. The need for us to change the GDP metrics is needed more than yesterday. We are facing unprecedented challenges. Climate challenge, inequality, social breakdown, mini crisis. People don't know why they are living the purpose crisis. These challenges will not be solved by a metric that cannot see them. We need new eyes, new metrics. Listen to me again. I'm saying that the reason why we need a new metric is that the stakes could not be higher. Now, the way things are running, the way things are changing, we are facing unprecedented challenges. Even in Ghana, we've told you the climate change, even farmers are struggling. Rainfall patterns have changed because Industrial revolution did not look at the sustainability issues. Things are changing. Inequality. People, even though the country is growing, growth is higher, but inequality is, poverty is, the gap is increasing. The gap, poverty gap is increasing. Social breakdown. Oh, the future is so bleak. Social breakdown. No fellow feeling. Families are breaking down. Communities are breaking down. Society. Yes. And then crisis. We are in a mini purpose crisis. People don't know why they are here. Very to the extent that even they don't know whether they are a male or female. This is a serious crisis.
Identity crisis.
Identity crisis. Yeah. Things that were normal are becoming so complex. Crisis. And we are saying that these changes will not be solved by a metric that cannot see them. The GDP don't see these metrics as important.
Yes.
We need a new eye. And that is what we will be discussing next week. What will constitute the new eye? What are the policy things that we need to look at in this? Yeah. And next week, we hope you join us. I hope this discussion eye-opening. We were talking here, we are still learning.
It's a serious learning curve for us.
The universities. I want to recommend the research institutions. Last, I have developed a concept to set up, when I get money, I'll set up Kingdom Economic Research Institution.
Great.
Where some of these things we are talking about. In fact, I've developed the concept. I want to partner with other institutions. I will share the concept with you.
Great.
For you to review. We need to have a whole research team.
Yeah.
People doing their first degree, second degree, masters and professors, writing papers here and there. These are the real things.
Serious stuff.
Very serious stuff. I want to recommend those academians. If you are interested to do masters, contact us. If you want to do a PhD, we can give you research areas for you to do further discussion on. And I think that we see a new tomorrow.
We see a new tomorrow.
We are not complaining. We are giving you, we see a new tomorrow. I believe in the new tomorrow. And trust me, those listening to us, Jesus, those who don't know Jesus as your Lord, listen, He introduced kingdom. He is coming as a king. And He expects that this system must be in place before He comes. Yeah. Trust me. Jesus is coming as a king. He expects that before He comes, some of these kingdom economic theories must be in place so that He will come and make them complete for us. Until we start, it will be difficult for Him to come because now the GDP doesn't measure the kingdom values.
No,
so Jesus, in His coming, expect us some of these, and don't miss next week. Next week, we're going to share some of these things that has to be measured.
Yeah.
And we're going to share what other countries are doing. And what we can do. And when you know that it's possible, trust me, we will be able to change our narrative. This has been Kingdom Economic Forum. So wait for us for the Kingdom Driven series. 50 books. 50 books that will be released this year. 50 books, Kingdom Driven series. It will be coming very soon. Until we meet next week. Bye-bye.
Bye.